Hi everybody, in this video we're going to take a quick look at how we can use Google Forms as quizzes. So the first step, we're going to go to Google Drive, and in your Google Drive you're going to create a new form. So I'm going to click on the New button. I don't see Form down here, so I'm going to hover over More, and then I'm going to select Google Forms. This is going to be a blank Google form where I am going to put my questions and my answer choices. So step one, untitled question. Usually I would tell people the first question to enter in on a form that you're going to use as a quiz is student name, because you're going to want the students to type in their first and last name. Now, by default it said multiple choice was the answer choice. I'm going to click on multiple choice, and I'm going to change this answer choice to short answer. So now the students have a text box to type in their name. I'm also going to make this question required because I want all students to type in their name. Now I'm going to make my next question to pop up below student name. And for this example, I'm going to make a addition math quiz. So over on the right, we have some tools. I'm going to hover over the plus icon, which is the add a question icon. And when I click the plus icon, a new question will appear. So for question one, I'm going to do 4 plus 4 equals, and this is where I can put my answer choices down here. Answer choice A is going to be 44. I can press enter on my keyboard to get another answer choice. Answer choice 2 is going to be 12. Enter. 8, and I'm going to do 4 answer choices, and I'm going to press enter one more time, and this answer choice will be 4. So again, I'm going to make this question required. So the students have to do this question, and I will repeat the process. I'm going to hover over the plus icon and press add question again, and now I'm going to make my second math question. Now for the quizzes to work, they do have to be multiple choice. If you choose short answer or paragraph type questions, the students could type an extended response or a short sentence, but Google will not grade those quizzes for you. You would have to grade those by hand. So I would recommend multiple choice. You can do 2 answers if you want a true and false, or 3 or 4 answers if you want multiple choice answers. You can go as many, more than 3 or 4 if you would like. So the next step we're going to do is I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the quiz, and you'll notice this form is an untitled form. We don't have a title for this form. So I'm going to click that untitled form text, and I'm going to call this one Math Quiz. And then I will click off of it. You'll notice that the form now has a title, but the file name doesn't. The file name is still Untitled Forum. So in my drive, this form would be titled Untitled Forum, even though the name is here. So I'm going to click where it says Untitled Forum, and it copied automatically the title of my quiz. So I'm going to fast forward to a quiz that I have my questions complete. Here's one that I've gone through, and I've added 5 questions and answer choices, multiple choice answers to this form. I want to talk about how to turn this into a quiz so that it automatically gets graded and points assigned. So to do that, we have to do the following changes in the settings. I'm going to come up to the settings cog, and I'm going to click this once. Now the first thing I'm going to do in the general part of the settings is I'm going to collect email addresses. And that way the students, they will have to log in with their howellschools.com email addresses. Most of our students will be able to do this. If you're using younger students in the elementary school that they don't know their Howell Schools email addresses, you can leave this off. Then you will just need a link for the students to get to the quiz. We'll get to that in a minute. But I like to leave this on most of the time so that the student name should match up with their email address. I also like to restrict the Howell Public Schools users, which makes sure that only kids in our district are taking this quiz, and limit to 1 response. If I'm using this as a formative assessment, I don't at this point want the same child taking this quiz more than once, 2 or 3 times, because then I don't know what results to look at first. As I get more comfortable using the quizzes, I might take this off and have the students respond to the quiz more than once over time so I can see some growth. But by default, I like this checked on. Collect email addresses, restrict to Howell Public School users, and limit to 1 response. I'm going to press save. Still not a quiz. I want to demonstrate using that setting icons again, how to turn this into a quiz. So I'm going to come back up to the settings icon again. You'll notice quizzes is over here on the right. So when I click on quizzes, by default, make this a quiz is off. So I'm going to click this button, and now this is set up as a quiz. Release grade. If I leave it on here, as soon as students enter a quiz, or their answers, they can see the results right away. And they will get email notifications as well. And also, I like to have missed questions on, and that way students can see which questions were answered incorrectly and which questions they answered correctly. So now I press save. Now, the last step I have to do when I set this up is I have to go in and choose the correct answer for each question, and I have to tell the form how many points each question is worth. And you have to do that one at a time. So I click anywhere on this question, and now I'm going to come down to the answer key, which wasn't available until I changed the settings to make this a quiz. So I click on the answer key, choose correct answers. I'm going to say that 8 is the correct answer. Now, if this was a test and there was more than one correct answer, you can click on as many answers as you need that are correct. But for this question, there's only one correct answer. Now, by default, this question is only worth 0 points. So I'm going to need to come up here, and I'm going to have this question be worth 1 point. 1 point for each of my questions today. I'm going to repeat that process for each question. I want to show you one more feature. This is really cool. This is Add Answer Feedback. And when you click on this, you have feedback where you can leave feedback for incorrect answers. So if they choose the wrong answer, you could leave some feedback on why or what they should be doing differently. Correct answers is you can give them some positive reinforcement. And the link button is pretty cool because you can copy and paste a website or a YouTube video here that shows someone going through this question, or a tutorial to solve it or give some background so the kids that get it wrong can watch this YouTube video and have a quick little visual recap of the answer to that question. Add answer feedback is optional. So again, I would go through the process. I would go to answer key, select the correct answer, change the point value for each question. Answer key, correct answer, point value for each question. Add answer feedback is optional. Oops, add answer key, correct answer, point value. Okay, so now I have questions worth 5 points. Now what I can do is I'm going to show you from the student view what this would look like. So student view, I'm going to open up this quiz in student view so you can see what it looks like. Here's what it would look like for a student. They're going to enter their name, and then the student is going to see that each question is worth 1 point, and these red stars mean that that question is required. So John's going to get this one correct, and this one incorrect, this one correct, and this one correct. John's going to submit those answers. Now when John submitted his responses, you can see that View Your Score option comes up. And so when John clicks on this, this is where you can see he has 3 out of 4 points total. 3 out of 4. It shows which ones are correct and which ones are incorrect. It shows what the correct answer was. If I chose Add Answer Feedback, that's where that would appear. Now we're going to go back to the teacher view one more time. We're going to talk about how in the world to get this quiz to your students so they can actually take it. Let's go back to teacher view. So before I show you how to see the results as the teacher of your students, let's talk about how to get this quiz to your students first of all. So you're going to press the send button right here at the top. And I'm going to show you the link icon. This is the link icon. Here's a crazy long link. You don't want to give this to your students. It's too long. So we're going to shorten the URL. You can copy this URL. You could paste this in a Google Classroom assignment. That's an easy way to push it out to all your students in Google Classroom. You could copy and paste this link into a Google Doc and share that out with your students. Or you might simply want to write this link on the whiteboard or show this link on your ceiling projector so the students could access it. But I would highly recommend to add this form as an assignment in Google Classroom. It's the easiest way for all of your students to get to it. Okay, the last step is, how do you see the results of your students once they take the quiz? So in Teacher View, with the quiz pulled up on your screen, we're going to go to Responses at the top and click on Responses. One response because you saw the one student that I demonstrated taking this quiz so far. You have two choices. You can take a look at the class summary, where it shows you the average for the entire class, or you can look at individual student reports for the quiz, and it shows each student's actual quiz, and this is how you cycle between them. The summary has some good features as well. This goes question by question in the class, how the students did. And this is how I get back to the questions if I want to edit them. Well, we went through a lot today. That's using Google's Forms as quizzes. I really, really like this feature as a formative assessment tool to get that pulse, get that check on, see how my students are doing. I would highly recommend using this tool with Google Classroom. It's a great way to show growth. All right, everyone, thanks.